Good day everyone, this is Jasper Tibong. Today, for my Pecha Pocha presentation, I will be discussing Part 2, Raising the Stakes, Reducing Costs at an Enterprise Level of the book The Lean Six Sigma Guide to Doing More with Less by Mark O. George. Think transformation, not just improvement. Transformation is the process by which firms, business units, or locations change their operational output step by step, enabling them to access new strategic approaches, such as repositioning themselves as a premium supplier or driving the market share by taking a low-cost market position. There are three activities required for transformation. First is to attain a proper understanding of the extent of the opportunity. Next is to consciously choose a path to capture the opportunity. And lastly, build the continuous improvement execution capabilities to capture the opportunity, both short and long term. The difference between the results and high performers is not really recognized by most businesses. As such, they struggle to make changes in their organization, even when organizations realize that there is a substantial gap and try to close that gap. There are clear variations in how average performers and high performers approach their opportunities for cost reduction. When a business has determined that it is necessary enough to actively explore the opportunity available to it, the next big decision is which direction to take. There are three basic mechanisms that companies take to close the identified gaps: continuous improvement, targeted interventions, and lastly, transformational programs. So there are five levels to ensure sustainability. First is understanding the value creation and destruction from the stakeholder perspective. Next is process excellence, followed by asset management and ROIC focus, then leadership and organizational capability, and lastly, performance management. Destruction of value implies knowing which offerings in your portfolio consume more capital than the income you can make from them can sustain. You need to look closely at your activities and how you distribute costs. Consider what deals produce enough revenue to cover costs and the overall effect of having diversity in your portfolio to understand value destruction. Process excellence is generally defined as a running process to the highest standards allowed by the Lean Six Sigma practices, driving waste in all its forms, driving defects down to very high levels, minimizing variance, and enforcing standard work procedures whenever quality is necessary to maintain top performance levels. Knowing how assets work in terms of return on investment gives management a view of the organization they would never had before. Crucially, when applied to the present assets, a return on asset strategy forces management to pose various questions. Usually, responses to questions like this are more like strategic and they can alter leadership factors that may hinder speed and flexibility. Decisions are made at levels higher than the necessary due to inability to delegate and the lack of appropriate data. Roles in departments are fragmented. This fragmented execution results in low quality and speed. The corporate culture acts against uniformity and consistency in communication. Performance management is the sense of management measures taken to define the organization's acceptable targets, collect process performance-related data, participate in performance conversation, and make changes to a regional plan to meet the objectives set. Performance management is also the process that accelerates the organization's learning. Here are the OI goals for Lean Six Sigma. Enhance productivity with a contemporary toolset and common language, increase execution speed with fact-based decisions, enhancing employee capabilities, delegating responsibility to the most effective level, eliminating wastes, and improving processes. The explanation is that the most quality improvement appears to be incremental, not transformative. It's the tools and methods are widely used to drive a key business result as a part of fragmented initiatives through multiple systems that are not coordinated. You should always note that the connections between process efficiency and key business metrics must be clearly understood. A comprehensive, closed-loop approach involves business speed and flexibility, whereby job planning and the scheduling operations make decisions based on the true capacity of production or delivery service networks, as well as on overall consumer demand for each product or service provided in the portfolio. Here are some of the concepts that Little Laws help us understand: enterprise flexibility, WTT or so-called workstation turnover time, equipment or operator processing cycle, cycle time interval or called CTI, frequency of required production, The lower the CTI, the greater the flexibility of the enterprise. Many firms have no clear understanding of what their complexity is costing them. The dynamic networks of commodities, systems, and capital resources that businesses build conceals the very costs it produces. High profit hides the difficulty brought about by complexity, but in times of the crisis, the cost of complexity is weighing down on the organization. The hidden cost of added offerings and processes. The speed of innovation is a double-edged sword. While a differentiated product and service portfolio is successful in gaining your customers and driving your growth, the complexity of portfolio will kill competitiveness and actually reduce the value of shareholders. Upstream costs of complexity. Marketing may charge a premium for shelf space. Low-volume products often aren't included in sales program and are hard to forecast sales and quality assurance testing costs. There are some ways to improve it, like reducing manufacturing costs, like scraps, inventories, and operational costs. Downstream costs of complexity, often costs by variation in packaging, shipping, volume, and delivery channel. This can be prevented by trying to reduce maintenance costs, frequency, and repair costs, reducing shipping charges associated with return or unused parts, improving inventory accuracy, and reducing carrying charges. It is sometimes more appropriate to have a quality improvement team reach out first. Organizations also have to decide what involvement to have with the suppliers. Conducting joint improvement projects between customers and suppliers can improve sales and revenue, increase customer satisfaction, lower costs, and make way for faster and more accurate deliveries.